All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Naso Media coming at you with another video. You know what time it is? It's time to bring on that boxing. Today we're going to be talking about Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis, a crazy matchup that could take place at 154 or 147. You know, obviously I've talked about Errol Spence and Jaron Ennis in the past. What about a Jaron Ennis and Terence Crawford fight? I personally think this might be a bold take, but I think this is a more advantageous. I don't know if that's the correct word I want to use. It's the safer fight for a Jaron Ennis as opposed to an Errol Spence fight. I'm going to defend it. Relax. I'm going to defend it. But you know, Errol Spence is a very technically sound fighter. Jaron Ennis is a very technically sound fighter. When there's a fight between two incredible boxers, that can cause, you know, a 50-50 fight, as opposed to obviously a very talented boxer in Terence Crawford, but at the same time he has that fighter and killer instinct mentality, to the point where if he thinks he has you hurt, he might get on you and you know, sell out. I don't want to say sell out. He's not acting like he's losing the fight and he's desperate for a knockout, but sell out in terms of, okay, I smell blood. Let me go in there and get you out of this fight, which could be dangerous for him. What I'm trying to say is I feel like Terence Crawford is the fighter that can make more mistakes to the point where Jaron Ennis can capitalize on those mistakes and maybe stop him. Jaron Ennis has that short counter hook that he likes to throw a lot. He moves his head well, which could give Terence Crawford problems, and he's just another technically sound fighter. I don't think that fighting Errol Spence would be the easier fight, just because it's hard to get his hands down. He's not weak to the body. He hasn't shown much vulnerability. Maybe a lack of attention to detail and in new scenarios or adverse scenarios where he gets his mouthpiece knocked out and then kind of looks for it and doesn't protect himself. You know, you have to protect yourself at all times. But a Jaron Ennis is the kind of fighter that could give Terence Crawford problems. I think more problems than he could give Errol Spence, because Errol Spence, no matter how difficult you are, he's gonna stick to his guns. Like he's a hard-headed and stubborn fighter to fight. You know, it's hard to break him mentally. You're not gonna get inside of Errol Spence's head, no matter who you are. You know, he's fought a lot of guys like Danny Garcia, a big puncher, Sean Porter, a big volume puncher, all these good champions, Yordenis Ugas, who is the same size as big and maybe a busy and longer guy, you know, with a decent punch. So to say that Errol Spence and Jaron Ennis is a tougher fight for Jaron Ennis than a Terence Crawford fight, I don't know if I agree with that, because Terence Crawford, we've seen him hurt. We've seen him hurt against Gamboa. We've seen him hurt against Igas Velasquez, Mean Machine, and I feel like he's been dropped. That knockdown should have counted. I'm just saying, we've never seen Errol Spence, you know, in trouble, if you will. The closest thing I've seen was maybe a Kell Brook or the Yordenis Ugas fight, but I don't even think he was hurt in there. It was just he was hurt with the punch that knocked his mouthpiece out. That knocked him into the ropes, but he was more not paying attention. And I think to expect that in your game plan against an Errol Spence is, you know, not smart at all, because the chances of it happening aren't likely, to say the least. So I feel like an Errol Spence fight would be not the better matchup for Jaron Ennis. I think he'd be better off taking a Terence Crawford fight. Obviously, he risks getting stopped too. I'm just saying, stylistically, I feel like Terence Crawford, he'll put his hands down. He gets hit a decent amount. You know, he moves in a kind of unorthodox way. He bounces, but sometimes his feet get caught up, and it's something that I think, obviously he switches really well, which could give Jaron Ennis problems. Jaron Ennis also likes to switch, so it'd be interesting, you know, their game plan going into that. That's something I want to see. But at the same time, I think that Jaron Ennis would give Terence Crawford problems that could lead to an Ennis victory. That's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think Jaron Ennis has a better chance against Terence Crawford than he does against Errol Spence, or vice versa? I personally think Errol Spence is a tougher fight, But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Defend your answers though. I'm not hating on anybody's comment. This is just my personal evaluation of that matchup and what I think would happen. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for the constant support. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.